So Rand,
Yeah.
okay, spotlight's on you. You're 30 feet away. Your Pegasus is 30 feet away from his. You have a reaction. You have 5, 4.
Featherfall.
On.
Him. I can cast Featherfall on up to 5 people within the range, which is 60 feet. Busted.
This is too easy. I wanted him to like struggle. Come on.
That happens. Last session, our deranged DM went fully unhinged, rolling or chaos from his Magic the Gathering deck every 15 minutes. This time he took a chill pill and toned down the chaos to the first net 4.
But the first person to roll any 4 on any dice, that's when we're going to do the D100, and I'm going to pick a card. I have it off screen. I have a stack of cards here organized from 1 to 100.
Oh, you still want to do it?
Interesting.
Just one, but this is just once. It's not every 4. It's just the first 4.
The more the randos survived his chaos rolls, the more our DM lost his marbles.
We'll see. Maybe twice a game in the future.
Uh-oh, here we go. It's already escalating. The first thing is you have to admit you have a problem.
So, the 3 randos and the ghost cat.
Oh yeah, ghost cat.
Don't forget about me, Ganjitsu, whiskers.
Soared through the sky on 3 majestic Pegasi towards Baldur's Gate.
And Rand, why are we going to Baldur's Gate?
For the masquerade ball thrown by my, I guess you'd call them in-laws, right? The Bormul family, who my sister was married off to. And I've invited my 2 friends because I'm sure they're going to cause some chaos. And I'm for it.
As we rejoin the randos, Vom, a gnome guard, is being stalked by a ghost cat.
So yeah, the name's Ganjitsu, whiskers, and I'm just gonna join you, buddy. I'm almost certain that's not your name. That's my name, Gnome. What you talking about? So that's as they fly on their Pegasus. That's the basic conversation.
Rand, a sorcerer, is trying to stop his nosebleed.
I'm just trying to put my nose back together.
Yeah, shoot.
Somebody who shall remain nameless, who has a ghost cat named Ghoul Whiskers, hit the crystal I was trapped in at face level with a hammer.
Rebir, a satyr druid, unfazed by it all, is trying out his new pipe.
Yes, I'm riding a Pegasus. It is awesome. Why not add up something more to spice things up? Wink, wink.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, what could possibly go wrong when experimenting with a suspicious substance 1,000 feet in the air?
To chill and to relax.
That's what you want to do. Chill and relax on a fucking flying horse. I don't know if you've heard the phrase, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
When that happens, the lunacy is about to begin.
And what was the effect? So for a while, like, you felt really good, right? Like, what exactly, can you describe? What did you feel?
I think that it was pretty much comparable to something we grow in the woods. So maybe with a little bit more seductive effect, but basically it was a good head high and body stone.
Besides that, like, what else, if you look at your hand, and I think actually the rest of you would have noticed this. You're not gonna...
It seemed to me I'm dissolving in the thin air. I become a little bit transparent even. I become one with the nature, or maybe transport to another pleasure universe of pleasure, dimension.
Yes.
So 50% of the party is ghosts already.
Yeah.
As Vom and Rand were, if you happen to glance over at Rebir, you would see him kind of like fading, getting it just like more and more translucent the more he's puffing on this thing. And then all of a sudden, all you see is this floating. You're pretty sure he's still there because crossbow on his back is still kind of, but it looks like it's just floating over the Pegasus.
Hey, Vom, is this normal for druids?
For satyrs, yes.
All right, we're good then.
I forgot my satyr book of Proverbs back in my hometown. It's a thick volume. There's got to be something in here about satyrs turning into ghosts. So I would suspend surprise and disbelief for anything this guy does.
So Rebir had a great time. He had a great body high and head high, and he was like going in and out of existence into different universes and playing like his whole reality was just like the universe.
And rainbows.
Rainbows. It's basically where you're at, which is awesome. But the not awesome part was that after about, 15 minutes or so, you finally came down from that. And it was such an intense mind and body experience that you had to kind of recover. Your body was just in the state of shock, and it's a 50% chance of going into paralysis. So he rolled a 1. The good news is it's only for a minute. It's not forever. You only get paralyzed for a minute, but that's all you really need is just a few seconds when you're riding a flying horse to. What I'm going to do is I would like both Vam and Rand, obviously now you as people know because I've just told you, but I want to see if your characters would happen to notice. So I would like you to both roll me perception as Rabir is starting to, you can see him again now that the effect is worn off. So he's still like, he's visible, but would you happen to look at him at that moment where he becomes paralyzed?
I rolled a 14.
Okay, so you definitely see what's going on. And then Vam, what did you roll?
A solid 6 minus 1.
That is not a solid 6, by the way.
Yeah, Bomb is extremely distracted with his ghoul whisker, so I don't think he'd notice anything that's happening on any other place.
Oh.
So Rand.
Yeah.
Okay, spotlight's on you. You're 30 feet away. Your Pegasus is 30 feet away from his. You have a reaction. You have 5, 4.
Featherfall.
On?
Him. I can cast Featherfall on up to 5 people within the range, which is 60 feet. Busted.
This is too easy. I wanted him to like struggle. Come on.
Can't believe.
He prepared a backup character. I personally was messaging him and had him prepare a backup. As the rules lawyer, OG Dice Jockey, is there any...
Hey, now that's rude. That's an insult.
I meant it as a compliment.
No.
And only when we specifically ask you, which is now I'm specifically asking.
Yeah.
Is there any saving throw he has, or it's like, oh, you cast it and he's...
No, he doesn't have to make any type of saving throw. I don't think he would. I mean, he's kind of high and he's doesn't even really know what's going on. If he falls off the griffin, then he just starts floating 60 feet per turn and then lands softly on the ground.
I'm shocked about the withdrawal because we are not used to things like that. We consume only natural stuff, but which doesn't have a lot of withdrawals.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of shocked with the withdrawals, kind of shocked with the effect, and I probably think that it is still an effect that I can fall like a feather.
Oh, you think it's just part of the drug?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Part of a high. Maybe I am even dreaming. I'm trying to watch it at my hands, remembering my practices with the conscious dreams.
Okay.
I'm trying, but I cannot.
Unfortunately, I just did a little roll off screen here. And unfortunately for Rabir, your Pegasus, who knows what he was thinking, or she, or it, whatever its gender is. But the Pegasus just continues on into the sunlight. Now the party is with one less Pegasus. So Vam, let's say you notice this, maybe Rand shouts something. I would assume at this point you notice what's going on. And now what do you guys do? It's on you.
I don't know if Vam is even in control of this Pegasus, but I guess he'll try to do an animal handling check to wheel around and go down, but I mean...
Perfect. Roll me animal handling to see...
Yeah, because as a gnome, he's not going to be adept at riding horses or anything like that.
And -2 on your animal handling.
It's a 10, but it's a 9 with the modifier.
Pegasus, it notices that you're trying to move it, but it doesn't really get what you want it to do. So it kind of keeps flying. And Rand, what about you?
I'll do the same thing. I'll try to wheel it around.
Right.
You said animal handling? This
Yeah,
ain't
let's
gonna go
do
well.
that.
That's a 5.
Unfortunately, the Pegasi are just kind of they're very maybe simple or single-minded, and they just kind of keep flying. I think they're following because they want to stay in the pack as well.
Yeah. Vom, I cast Featherfall on all of us. Just jump.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I jump off. I grab all the stuff because I was carrying the tent and everything else, and I jump off and try to aim myself for wherever Rabir's going down.
This is the true leap of faith. This guy he's only met less than a week ago. He didn't see him cast Featherfall before. He doesn't. So I'm gonna make an insight check. Let's say.
Yeah, good. I like that.
I don't know if I'm meant to roll high or low. I'll let the DM decide based on the roll what.
Before you do that, if I see you didn't jump when I did, I'm going to psychic connect with you and say, you owe me one.
Interesting.
And I'm going to point at my nose.
I got a 15, so I think that's pretty good for discerning his true intentions.
Yeah.
He sees him jumping. He does owe him one, and this is a good time to even the score if we could just get that playing field back to level. So we're going to take the jump.
Okay, great. You both jump, take the leap of faith, the ultimate leap of faith, hundreds of feet in the air. Like a feather, you float gently down and down. You see treetops, but there's kind of, it's not like really, really thick. There's kind of, it's patchy. There's some clearings here and there. So Vam and Rand, you just miss like a tree and you kind of just float gently to the ground. But unfortunately, Rabir doesn't quite miss, and he's at the very top, tippity top of this giant oak tree. And so there you are. You're on the ground. You're in an open field. It's what time of day was it? Do you guys remember? Okay.
It might have been close to morning after all that fighting and trees and all that.
Right around when you're hitting those trees, because you're floating into it and finally, or landing on the top of the tree, Rabir, your paralysis fades away. Now you have full control of your limbs again.
I want to look around, and first of all, I want to check if my rope is with me.
Why don't you roll me a d10. I want you guys to roll 4.
Wait, so is it a 4 pre or post modifier?
8.
Good question.
Pre.
Let's say pre modifier.
So
Yeah.
the 4 comes up on the dice. Okay, we have.
Yeah.
Should have been net.
Luckily enough, you do have your rope. However, I'm sorry to say, your money, all your coins, your coin pouch has fallen off at some point.
But pipe definitely in my hand.
Yeah, you got one hit of that ghost leaf. It's still there. Yeah, who cares about coins and gold?
You cannot buy anything in woods. They are useless.
Wow, true.
So first of all, I want to look around and search for Rand and Vom.
Because you're so high up in the trees, you see the treetops across and like kind of all around you. Also, you don't see actually too much because it's dark, and I don't believe you have dark vision.
No, I don't.
Does he hear the cat screaming?
Okay, why don't you roll perception?
Who doesn't hear the cat?
22.
Thug life. You rolled a 22. I think it's because your senses are so heightened from that like trip that you just experience like some crazy mind-altering stuff. So yeah, you hear like the crickets chirping, the wind, blowing through the leaves. You hear little like, forest sounds, little like rats scurrying around, and just like birds, and of course you hear the cat. Yes, you hear like a yeah. So you hear, and then you know that it's below you. Like, so you're like, oh, maybe, and then you maybe realize kind of where you're at. Like, I'm at the top of the tree, and then based on the position from when you're hearing that, they're probably at the bottom on the ground.
I think I pretty much used to climb on trees.
Yeah, when
So,
I
can-
not been at the top of a tree since we started playing, pretty much.
Yeah. That's
True.
that's my regular position actually.
But that's like a meme now.
I wanna scream. There is a catnip.
Does Ghoul Whispers understand like common? I don't understand. I'm not exactly sure. No, he can only speak with me, right?
He's attuned to you, yeah. And anyone else were to like be able to speak with cats, maybe then they can talk.
But he's just speaking with Vom. If he hears that, he's not going to relate that because he thinks that, Ghoul Whispers has probably had enough drugs for one day. But he will follow the sound of that.
Enough.
That's exactly the
Well,
problem.
then I will climb down slowly. I still have one hit, and I'm willing to share. Yeah, you should try this.
You're not trying to be quiet at all. You're just saying, "Hey guys, I'm coming down. I'm in the woods."
No, so presumably they can hear me, but it is like I got used to woods. I wouldn't scream in the woods. In unknown woods.
I'll cast dancing lights because I know he can't see in the dark. And I'll send the 4 globes up into the tree at intervals so that he's got light as he climbs down. Each one with a 10 feet of dim beyond that. So if they're staggered, I could probably light up the whole bottom half of the tree.
Vam, I would like you to roll me a perception, please.
7
out of 20.
7 out of 20. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't help you there. Yeah,
Just
you're
roll a
pretty
D8.
distracted. That's how it works, asshole.
You know what? I'll take my inspiration. I feel like
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
there's something about your tone. I got a 3 on the second roll. I was so close to a 4 though. That's the way
There is actually like a giant, maybe it's like a giant acorn. It's like a pine cone, and it just falls and it hits you on the head. So I'd like you to roll a D4 for damage.
Damn it! I already have,
You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I literally already have 2 headache damage from last session. So
Dude, I'm giving
yeah.
you a 1 out of 4 chance to roll a 4. Okay.
a 3, another 3. I hope you're happy.
So yeah, ouch.
Mom's got a splitting headache, mostly not even so much from the damage, but mostly from Ghoul Whiskers. He won't stop yapping about God knows what. All these stories from the streets of the forest. Apparently, whatever that means. So
All right, Rabir, roll me a quick D20 dex to see how you climb down in the dark.
With lights. Rand casted lights.
Sorry. Yes, then you have advantage. Correct. Yeah, and you're.
I have 20. Not net 20.
Oh, not Nat. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you're dead. Moving on. That backup character.
Shit happens.
I can cast Featherfall again.
Is it a cantrip?
No, it's a first level spell.
Oh, but I specifically said like we're not counting spell slots because this is more of like a fun thing. So
That's right. You did say that, and I'm going to abuse you for it.
Rabir, you get down successfully. Now maybe is a good chance you guys just take a quick stock of where you're at, come up with a plan. I mean, you're literally stuck in the middle of the woods. You don't know where you're at. You don't know anything what's going on.
Baldur's Gate is up north. So
Yes.
we first of all we will figure out where north is, right?
Is the sun starting to come up?
No, but I think that I can probably decide it by I can decide where the north is by moss. It grows on the north. Yeah, every satyr knows that.
Roll me a nature check if you want to look at the tree to see if you can find. That's a good idea.
First of all, I can want to say that anybody wants a hit because this is a good stuff.
I feel like
You cannot find it in the woods.
feel free to enjoy Rand, but I think one of
No,
us must have the wits
I'm
about it.
passing on involuntary invisibility and near death.
I'm trying to offer it to Cat.
I was gonna say the cat is probably like
Cat's in.
No, I'm not going to offer it to a cat.
I think he's gonna offer it to himself.
Yeah.
No, little buddy. No,
I get
little
it.
buddy. It is for grown-ups.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like this cat, like ghost cat comes jumping at you. Let's say he lunges at. Yeah, you want to restrain him. Yeah. Give me a dex saving, like reflex.
Oh
Can
yeah,
you-
Dex.
Dex,
No, but that's what I was wondering. Like, can I actually touch this cat? Like, we need to start to establish what
No, that-
level of ghostliness this cat's at.
How transcendent he is.
He phases in and out of corporeality. Let's just say it's like 50-50. Roll it. If it's even, he's in, you can grab him. If he's odd, then he's out. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Right, I'm
Like
rolling
phases
it.
in and out.
And I'm gonna roll down a D4 for a little extra.
Sure, yeah. Do it.
Oh baby! Oh,
It's a 4.
It's a 4!
Oh,
It's a
baby.
4! Let's just address the scene. You are able to grab him right now, so you still have to roll a dex throw.
Okay. Oh wow! Lucky me. So 17.
Describe how you grab the cat.
I feel like he's like climbing over the head, and it's just like one of these one arm's coming out here, and like the legs this way, and he's like.
Meanwhile, who wants to roll my D100?
I mean, I would love to.
You should. You rolled the
Go
4.
ahead.
You get to destroy us.
I'm way too into this chaos, these chaos rolls.
There is still this Tarask.
Oh,
So
yeah.
an 80.
Oh, dude. Well, one of you is going to love this. The rest of you probably could care less. So it's just funny. I think as you're grabbing it, you notice is like, because you're like, maybe you're like swinging in the air and your eyes glance over just at the tree, like the tree next to the next tree over, and hanging on that tree is 50 feet of rope.
It's his rope.
It's his rope.
Hey, Rabir, isn't that your rope?
Awesome.
It strangely looks just like a rope you once owned.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. I want to grab it.
That was
Almost
melodramatic.
lost.
So yeah, you got your rope back. If you give it to him, that's up to you. But it's very strange because like Vam, do you grab the rope? I'm assuming you do, but
No, I mean, he just sees the rope. I don't think he's that interested in the rope. That's Rabir's rope. Rabir's the one who's flipping out about it. He's got his hands full of cat, so I don't think the rope is any part of his concern. Is Rabir going for his rope?
Yes, immediately.
Rand is casting minor illusion on some rocks and giving the cat some white nippo.
Yeah. I'm sure he appreciates that.
And his mage hand comes floating over with white nippo in it for the cat.
I'm searching for a rope and also searching for moss to figure out which direction we want to leave, because the sun is going to rise soon.
So let's say you look on the tree for the moss to find the direction. I would like everyone to roll me a perception, because you were kind of being loud in this unknown forest area in the dark. So maybe there are some things that are not so nice. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just seeing.
I might actually perceive something this time.
12.
Sorry?
1 6. 16.
Dude, that's your best roll from the whole game.
I know. I actually rolled something good.
Vam is the only one who hears this. It's very faint, but you know, because I think your guard, like your spidey sense, like are like pringling. That's not.
They're pringling.
Tingle.
Tingling. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You hear a twig snap, and just the way that it's like, so it just sounds like maybe a humanoid is stepping on a twig somewhere.
Watchman senses pringling, he says as his eyes dart around the forest towards the sound. That's what gnomes call.
That's it now.
Intuitive sensation. It's a gnomish word for an intuitive sensation is a pringle.
You hear the twig snap.
Pringles.
You hear the twig pringle. And like almost immediately, I would say you maybe have like, it registers in your brain like 2 seconds. So I'm going to give you one reaction, and then something is going to happen.
Okay, then I guess he'll cast snare. I don't know. It's the first thing that's coming to mind. Okay. So he takes his rope, throws it in a loop, and casts the snare. It disappears, invisible. But if something comes from that direction, straight across it, it'll get him like a little cartoon.
Okay. So this is right in front of you, basically.
Between the direction of the sound and him.
You hear like the twang, like barely audible, but your senses are like on high alert now of a bowstring, and it's like, and it goes like literally straight over your head. It like misses you by like a split hair. There's a tree, I don't know, a couple feet behind you, like right, you know, like the cartoony sounds it makes. And then you hear a, hold it right there.
I can hear this accent.
We didn't cross the bridge.
Well, that don't matter no more. Puntako don't like being made a fool of, now does he? And now all of a sudden, the area around you, you hear like lots of twigs, you know, like trees, like branches parting. And there's a whole circle of maybe a dozen ragtag, mercenary-looking ruffians. At this point now, right at that moment, it's very like cinematic, because then like the sun starts coming up just a little bit. So now there's a little bit of light. You don't see the ogre. You recognize the human. Say you recognize the satyr. A few more humans. There's like a couple goblins, like a tiefling, a dwarf with like missing an eye. And they all are holding their way, you know. 8 of them have bows, and the other 4 are holding swords, and they're surrounding you.
First of all, I will hide the pipe.
Priorities.
Roll me stealth, so sleight of hand.
16.
You use your finger twirling skills, right? Can you show us how you hide the pipe? Nice. Rand, what is your initial reaction?
I am instantly casting calm emotions in a 20-foot radius.
Does this have a component where you have to like wiggle your fingers or auditory?
I'm going to use a sorcery point to make this subtle, which means I have to do nothing. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point I choose, which would be as many as I can get in it, or be affected by one of the following effects. They're charmed unless they're immune to it, so they act as if they're my friend.
Okay, so what was the saving throw?
Charisma, 15.
All right. Fail. 2 saved. The rest of them are now kind of charmed by you.
Does the human, the one that we talked to on the bridge that was kind of leading again here, does he fail?
Yes, he fails.
Buddy! Brother! I found you! In this whole forest, I find you again!
You. He has a crossbow and it slowly lowers. He's just like, raw, yeah, we were gonna
Remember, we paid you, and then we got attacked by a tree, and some Pegasus kidnapped us. It was crazy.
So everyone, the whole circle, like this whole crew, they're all kind of like looking at each other like, whoa, well. After a second or two, they keep looking at him. So maybe you kind of imagine he's the de facto leader. And he's like, what? Right. But, I mean, yeah, I know we're buddies, but like, I don't remember the coin in my hand though. And it seems like he's like honestly trying to remember. We're friends, but you didn't pay me, right?
No, I definitely did. Remember, we were on the bridge and we brought the gnome, Vom. He was carrying that big sack of gold, remember?
Okay, roll me a deception with advantage.
Yeah, he's nodding.
That's a natural 20 plus 6.
Or does Vom speak up? No, we didn't pay them.
I elbow him hard in the ribs.
No, we actually did pay them.
Maybe Rabir is like, no, we didn't.
I have nothing else. I gave you not only my gold, I gave you my bag also. I definitely don't have any pipes.
Right. Well, okay. I mean, I think and he kind of like smacks himself on the head. He's like, stupid Marco. Oh, Marco.
Oh, Marco, don't be so hard on yourself, buddy. You're just it's a hard job.
Yeah, Roy, you get me.
I get you.
Yeah. Oh, what? You know what? Just give us one. We gotta like discuss something. So they kind of turn their back to you all now except for the two that didn't fall under the spell, and they're kind of just like standing there cross-eyed, and they're looking at you very suspiciously, but they're not making any aggressive action. And the other ones are kind of huddled, doing like a little football huddle.
Are they separated from the other ones?
No, they're just like essentially their backs are turned, so they're still with them, but they're just kind of like not you like the rest of them do. So they're just like this. So if you don't do anything, they're gonna talk for like maybe a minute.
If they're talking that long, I think we should run. I'll tell them in their heads.
So they turn around and he's like, all right, well, good news. We decided since we're all like good friends and whatnot, we want to invite you back to Puntaco's hideout. I'm sure he'd love to have a word with you. Come on, let's go. We're not too far away.
Can we get back to you on that? Because we're kind of late for an appointment. Remember when we were on the bridge and...
Now, at this point, because let's say it's been over a minute, would that spell start fading off now? Would he kind of be like, all right, well, what happened?
Yeah, probably. If it's over a minute, yeah.
So you ask him this question, he's like, wait, hold on. He's like blinking his eyes a little. He's kind of like rubbing his face. He's like,
then I'm like whispering to these two or saying it in their mind, get ready to run. And I cast sleep over the main guy and whoever's standing next to him. It's a 5-foot radius, so I'm only going to get 2 people. I'm going to try to make them fall asleep. That's a wisdom save of 15.
Fail. So him and the dwarf
run.
Like, wait.
Oh no! What's happening to them? And then we go.
Wait, which direction are you running?
Toward the boss.
Boss, I was looking for boss.
No, you didn't have time to find the boss. You don't know.
Just run.
I guess just the opposite of where they are, right?
If we were surrounded, then
you were, but
through those.
They gathered together though to talk. Remember, so they were all together. Right. So we're running away from them into the woods.
I want to cast Entangle.
Why not?
If they are gathered out and he tries to sleep, I want to cast Entangle.
So that will keep them tied, basically, like with branches? How does it work?
If they try to move, yeah.
So you cast
vines and roots and stuff.
All right, you cast it on the ones that are the dwarf and the human that fell asleep.
I think that's a 20-foot radius. Yeah, it's like a 20-foot radius.
You tie them up. I mean, you're kind of like, what are you doing it like over your shoulder, like as you're running?
Skyhook.
No, as soon as I see that Rand tries to slip them down, I just like I have to say stop right there, just like Vom does. I like the way he does it.
All right, hey.
That's his line.
You like nod of approval, and then you hear like your little buddy who's kind of like at your ankle. He's like, "This shit's whack, yo! I'm out of here."
Just sniff your Nepo and be quiet.
You say as you're running.
Yes.
Right when you start to get away, you hear like a what the. Vom, you assume your snare worked?
Yeah, my snare went off.
One of them is like, so at this point, there are like 5 of them that are still pursuing you. Everyone roll me a dex, and Rabir, you have advantage because you're a creature of the woods.
18.
13.
Yeah, that's
good. It was with the advantage. It was net one.
Dude, yeah, no, I'm glad. Okay, unfortunately, I love starting sentences with unfortunately.
Yeah.
You kind of, it's not like a full trip. There's like a root here in the ground. And so it's like one of those like stumbles, but you can kind of like keep yourself running. In this, like for a split second or two, your head looks down to the ground to like, whoa, to stop yourself. And you see an object that doesn't belong in the woods. And it really catches your eye. And now the sun is kind of like, halfway up. So it's light enough you can see. And it kind of glints off the sunrise. You see a very distinctive gold compass pocket watch.
Okay, fancy schmancy.
And I want you to roll me history. Also, you're running, so you don't have like a lot of time. Before it hits your brain of like if you recognize it or not, I want you to tell me right now, do you stop to pick it up or do anything, or do you just keep going?
Yeah, you pick it up.
All right, you pick it up. Yeah, roll me
History.
History. Thank you.
History.
The mom has well studied in history, actually. So let's see. 17.
You're pretty distracted, so you don't actually think through the whole situation, like how is this possible? As soon as you pick it up and you're like, oh my God, you know who it belongs to? Who are we talking about before the game?
Oh my gosh, it's Captain Lindo Barisian.
Yes, well known for his hijacking of the Millennium Falcon.
And even more well known for his seduction of 2 of the 3 sisters of the Starberry clan.
This is going through your head, so as you realize, maybe it'll just be interesting. So their characters won't know, but maybe you can just, if you want to tell them who this guy is, or
I don't think he wants to talk about it. A deep and guttural groan as he looks at this pocket watch, and you can see the frustration and annoyance on his face, and he pinches the bridge of his nose as he runs, and he almost throws it down, but at the last second he decides to slip it into his pocket. And
do I see him kind of slow down, stumble, and stop to pick that up?
I'll let you. You know what? Sure. Well, we'll just say you don't have to roll. Sure. You see it. Yeah.
All right. Well, all I'm going to do, I'm not going to stop running, but I'm going to send my mage hand back to slap him on the back of his head so he remembers we're supposed to be running.
Gets a little shocked.
You got the shortest legs. You don't have time for this.
Do I see him picking up something?
Sure. To be fair, sure. You all see it. Yeah. You kind of see him stumbling and maybe picking something up. You see it's like shiny and gold, but you don't see exactly what it is.
How far the followers?
They're not within like eyesight, so you can't see them, but you can kind of still hear them distantly. Twigs snapping and like brushes moving and stuff.
I wanna cast a spike growth. It is also range. It is 20 feet. There are spikes grown from the ground, and not only entangle them, but also hits them.
Okay, so kind of like to like as a barrier.
It is like a trap.
It would
20 feet square trap in the direction where they are following us.
Also, in a different direction, not the direction we're running in, but say to our left, I'm going to use minor illusion to make the sound of us running through the leaves.
Very, very smart.
Right at where his spikes are. So it looks like we turned left at the spikes. They might do the same thing.
I'm rolling. And if you all continue running, do you continue running for another, a couple minutes at least?
I would.
After, I don't know, let's say another 5-10 minutes, after like maybe even 3 minutes, because you're running, you do hear the footsteps kind of fading off to the distance, and it's getting more and more faint. It looks like Rand, your ploy, as far as you know, your ploy has worked. And they probably, whoever is left, like the 4 dudes that were left, maybe one of them just like fell on Rabir's trap. But you don't know, but I'm just surmising. Whoever was left probably went the other way. So, good job.
Are we
Teamwork.
going to chase him?
No.
Then let's get the hell out
There's
of here.
too many of them. And there's an ogre that they were trying to take us back to.
Holy shit, I'm not going back to that bridge.
All right, find
many
some
memories.
moss and get us back going north.
All right.
I don't even know what moss looks like.
I'm going to look for moss.
You look for moss. While you're doing that, Vam, what are you doing?
I think he'll pull out the pocket watch and inspect it more closely, knowing Captain Lindo, there could be a secret compartment or something interesting about it because he's a
Why don't you roll me
fellow.
investigation? You do actually
Yeah.
recall Lindo bragging one time about, this secret treasure map that
What
he hid.
haven't I caught Lindo bragging about? Ugh.
This is true.
Anyways, 16 total.
Your fingers are kind of like moving over it. You're looking for any maybe little like secret lever or secret like ways you can like twist it open or something. And as you're doing that, you think you do actually notice that like one of the sides, like the back side is like a little bit like fraction of a like off center from like the front side. As you're like trying to look further, and meanwhile Rand and Rabir are, well, I don't know what Rand is actually doing. I know Rabir's looking for moss. You hear actually like from your Catgeist, yo, hey bro, check this shit out, man. There's like a dude here. Look at this. And he's like, "Rah." And he's like kind of like going behind a bush. Do you follow him?
Yeah, sure.
You're like, all right.
Dude, don't follow the cat.
I swear, this is like for real. Yeah, and you see a pair of like kind of gold laced black leather boots that seem very out of place, and then the rest of the body is kind of like in this bush. You just see these big, rich. They look pretty, I don't know, out of place, I would say.
Don't tell me. He's gonna look closely and figure out who it is, though he has a suspicion already. Is it someone familiar?
Well, I mean,
Gonna push the bush aside.
You see your old friend lying face down in the dirt. Or is he a friend? I don't know.
First thing he's got to do is, despite him, the part of him being happy to see him in this bad situation, he's still gonna give him a poke with the foot, see if he stirs, see if he's alive.
You hear like a where?
He gives him a big shove to flip him over with his foot, unceremoniously.
You don't even like grab him and like try to, I don't know.
No, he takes his foot and he puts it against his rib and then flips him like a dead body and flops him over onto his back.
So
And he
you
says,
see,
Lando Balrisian, or should I say, brother.
Vom is and he spits out like a chunk of blood. He's kind of cut and bruised. His fancy, what is like a very expensive suit with his gold trim is all like, it's all cut, tangled, and it looks much the worse for wear. He's like, what? Oh, Vom, you are a sight for sore eyes.
Your eyes would be even more sore if you weren't my nephew and niece's father, he says, raising a fist and then slowly lowering it.
And he goes, and he's like, and he kind of like looks around and just like, I think this is all too much for him. And he literally just like passes out, faints right there. And that's where we're going to end the session, guys.